Politics, the economy, Hollywood. Those are the typical topics you often hear on the news. But recently, there's been a new topic that they just can't help but pay attention to: hackers and the cyber world. Now, Anonymous and LulzSec have proven that they're a force to be reckoned with after they successfully have taken over several government websites, including Senate.gov and CIA.gov. And that's something that obviously concerns the government. So much so that the National Security Agency has announced that they'll be taking part in a pilot program where they're going to team up with internet service providers to scan emails and other digital traffic to stop a cyber attack before it happens. Now, this project apparently started last month, and as of now, it's all happening on a voluntary trial basis with regular ISPs like AT&T and Verizon, and it's all directed at the internet traffic that goes towards defense contractors. But the gist here is that the NSA is going to keep tabs on what data gets sent to these firms and determine if any of that information seems suspicious or unusual. So I've got a little question here. Does anyone else fear that this really is just, I don't know, a segue for the government to start keeping tabs on all of us? Critics are already calling for some sort of regulation and discussion before this pilot program becomes the norm. You know, they say that this could become a backdoor form of surveillance for all people. Now, hypothetically, the government can keep tabs on what you're doing online, read your emails, even who you interact with on social media sites. So, could this be more evidence of the government's newfound obsession with the cyber world? See, just a short while back, we told you how D.C. is amping up its cyber departments, and more importantly, the fact that the Obama administration is claiming a cyber attack is legitimate grounds for engaging in war. The White House released a report saying, when warranted, the United States will respond to hostile acts in cyberspace as we would to any other threat to our country. We reserve the right to use all necessary means, diplomatic, international, military, and economic, in order to defend our nation. So it's become pretty clear that the Obama administration feels justified in taking any cyber threats or questionable cyber activity as grounds for starting a war. And frankly, the mainstream media is playing right along with Team Obama on this one.
The notorious computer group known as LulzSec has been on a rampage lately. This week, they openly posted 62,000 stolen usernames and passwords of regular internet users. They've hacked PBS, Sony, and now the U.S. Senate and even the CIA. They've set up a hotline to take requests for which sites to attack next. If groups like these can wreak havoc freely, what does that mean about our ability to fight actual cyber terrorism that's taking place from China and Russia, and to protect our most vital online assets? Now, it's my understanding that the Russians and the Chinese, and whether it's officially sanctioned by the governments or not, that's an open question, but they are the most active internationally at trying to hack various things in U.S. government systems. At what point do we call this what it is, which is a form of terrorism?
Whoa, a form of terrorism? Now, let's make a few points crystal clear here. When it comes to LulzSec, yes, they're considered hackers, but they've successfully interfered with government sites like Senate.gov and CIA.gov. There wasn't any information taken from those pages. Now, why is Chuck Todd bringing in the Russians and the Chinese into the discussion revolving around LulzSec? First of all, nobody's found a correlation between the hacker groups in those countries. And as his guest later points out to him, one of the best tricks out there for hackers is making it seem like it came from one place when it really came from another. So maybe we should just slow down for 1 second before we start labeling people terrorists. Now, as for this NSA pilot program, I'd easily argue that this is definitely not the first time the government has scanned your emails. Hello, they're the government. And there have been several reports in the past where the government considered keeping tabs on what you do on the World Wide Web. Now, frankly, I'd bet money that that's already happened. So could this pilot program announcement just be a PR move to make it pretend like they haven't already invaded your privacy? I'm just predicting it right now. The DoD is going to create a cyber terrorism watch list, just like they do for the no-fly list and the like. It's only a matter of time. Now, does opposing America's endless wars abroad make you an isolationist? It's a description that we hear thrown out there a lot, and even more often lately directed towards members of the GOP. Ron Paul has long called for us to stop bombing Muslim countries and bankrupting ourselves and tarnishing America's name and focus on getting our own house in order. But last week, even Mitt Romney joined in.
I want those troops to come home based upon not politics, not based upon economics, but instead based upon the conditions on the ground determined by the generals. But I also think we've learned that our troops shouldn't go off and try and fight a war of independence for another nation. Only the Afghanis can win Afghanistan's independence from the Taliban.